And we are back with the fourth segment of the GSMC Basketball Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. That fly is just annoying. And in this fourth segment, we are going to be fighting the fly. And we are also going to be talking about Klay Thompson and his free agency, like what could possibly happen, what teams are interested in him, as well as Dejounte Murray and the trade. Let's see. What do I want to talk about first? You know what? Might as well talk about Dejounte Murray first, because like that's really like hold on, let's just load. There we go. Because that trade, it's already been finalized, so I can essentially talk a little bit about the trade and my opinions on the trade. So I'm just going to open up the details for the trade right now. So the Pelicans are receiving Dejounte Murray in exchange for Larry Nance Jr., Dyson Daniels, 2025 Lakers first-round pick, and a 2027 Milwaukee first-round pick / New Orleans Pelicans first-round pick. Like that, those were the trade deals, and that was the trade details. So essentially, they got Larry Nance, Dyson Daniels, and a few picks, the Atlanta Hawks. Now, I'm very, very, very surprised with how cheap this deal is coming in from the Hawks. Like, I fully expected the Hawks to force the Pelicans' hand and try to, get the Pelicans to get rid of Brandon Ingram. I fully thought that was what was going to happen. But, they got him for extremely cheap. Like, the Pelicans ended up getting Dejounte for extremely cheap, and I am very, very surprised. Like, there's no words. There's genuinely no words, because it's like, Dejounte Murray, while the experience with the Hawks wasn't all that, fascinating and things like that, I still expected the Hawks to gain some sort of value coming in from this trade. I mean, giving up Dejounte for Larry Nance, Dyson Daniels, and a couple of picks, that's nothing, I think. Like, they should have, if it was like Dejounte and Brandon Ingram, just a straight player swap, I would have definitely agreed with that a little bit more. Like, that would be a totally solid return, like a solid player for a solid player. But here it's just, a solid player in exchange for picks and a couple of okay players. Like, I don't think that's a balanced trade at all. And it's very, I think this is a very underwhelming return for the Atlanta Hawks. I have no idea what the Hawks have been doing this entirety of the free agency. In my opinion, they messed up the draft. They should have got Alex Sarr at the as the first pick, but instead they ended up getting another guy from French. Why? Why would they give up? Why would they not pick Alex Sarr? I already think they messed that up. And now here they go messing up a trade where they get a bare minimum return for Dejounte Murray. Dejounte was their second option. And you're getting a minimum return piece for that. Like, what kind of deal is that? What kind of deal is that? Like, maybe this is because, they have hope on Zachary. That was the number one pick that they ended up getting. Maybe they have hope that he's going to be a good asset and they want him to develop. But no, I don't agree with this move at all. I really don't. I think this is incredibly weak coming in from the Hawks. This is a bad move. It's horrible. I think this is just a bad trade. But that is just me. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of this trade. But this is just, I don't think this is a very good trade. That is just me, though. And now we can move on and go talk about the Klay Thompson little debacle that's going on. Let me just go ahead and see if I have anything else that I need to talk about. No, I don't. So now we're going to shift our focus over to Klay Thompson and the possibilities of where he's going to go. So Klay Thompson, like I mentioned before, the Warriors and Klay Thompson, they were unable to come up with a contract agreement, and now Klay Thompson is going to test the free agency market. So the teams that might look to go get him, there is the Orlando Magic, That is one of the teams that could end up getting Klay Thompson. Then there's also, the Dallas Mavericks. While I do think it's going to be a risk for the Dallas Mavericks to give Klay Thompson all of that money, maybe it'll be worth it. Maybe. I'm like, maybe. Again, huge maybe. Because, you're basically, asking to go into that second. You're basically asking to go into the second apron. You have to win if you're going into that decision. But maybe that's not really the best option for the Dallas Mavericks to go and get him. However, another option, as I alluded to before in the second segment, is that Klay Thompson could end up going to the Los Angeles Lakers. Like I said before, his dad he was from Los Angeles, and his dad also has connections with the Lakers. Not to mention LeBron called him as well. So maybe that will be enough to change his mind and decide to go with the Los Angeles Lakers in the hopes that they can win the championship. And it would be really ironic to see Klay Thompson go to play with LeBron. It would literally personify the phrase, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. That is literally what it is. It's honestly it would be a similar thing to how Ray Allen decided to leave the Celtics and go play with LeBron on the Miami Heat. That was one of the the biggest decisions that stung with the Celtics, and especially with Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett really gets ticked off thinking about the fact that Ray Allen betrayed them. That was sort of the thought process, because Kevin Garnett, he's very, I don't want to say he's emotional, because he's very passionate. That's the word that I'm looking for. So do I think Klay Thompson is going to go to the Lakers? I don't think so. And the only reason why I think that is because LeBron has terrible luck getting free agents. Now, if he does end up going to the Lakers, I think, the bad luck is going to be that Klay Thompson can't shoot anymore. That's really what it's going to be. But who knows? Maybe this will end up working out for the better. Maybe Klay Thompson will actually be able to shoot when paired with LeBron. Because one of the things that's incredibly underrated about LeBron, and I can't even say that it's underrated, honestly. It's his playmaking. Because while he is actually, I think honestly one of the underrated things about LeBron, ironically enough, is his scoring. But his playmaking is elite, without a doubt. And pairing him with Klay Thompson, not to mention with the coaching of JJ Redick, that's one thing that I didn't mention in the second segment. But JJ Redick, while he is inexperienced, and he probably, can the lighting just work for me for a second, please? Thank you. While he is inexperienced with coaching, and this is going to be his first coaching opportunity, coaching Klay Thompson, I think, is going to be really easy for him, because JJ Redick essentially used to be the same kind of player that Klay Thompson is. I mean, I've seen JJ Redick run around screens, catch and shoot, and they run they run those off-ball screens for JJ Redick just so he can, flare out and immediately pop. So I genuinely think that JJ Redick would be able to coach Klay Thompson pretty well on the Lakers, and make plays that are able to set him up phenomenally. Now, we have somebody in the chat, Mainit K. I have no idea how to pronounce the name. Mainit K6, I'm just gonna say. You think Klay still has D move? What about his defense? Oh, do you think Klay still I have no idea what he's trying to say. Do I think it's I don't know what you're trying to say. What about his defense? I mean, I can answer that. His defense is definitely not the same as it was before. It's clear cut. It's not the same as it was before. But really, I'm not looking at his defense. I'm more so looking at the shooting that he brings to the table, because that is the value that he is going to bring to any team that he's a part of now. And you might argue, oh, but he went 0 for 10 in an elimination game. That was one game. I'm tired of that disrespect that they keep giving Klay Thompson, because I grew up when the league respected Klay Thompson. that everyone was scared whenever the ball touched his hands because everyone thought that the shot was going in. That's the Klay Thompson that I remember. And, obviously 0 for 10 recently in an elimination game. It's not very good. I'm not saying that it's good. But you can't have that one performance define his entire legacy. That's just me, though. Now, do I think Klay still has D-move? I have no idea what you're trying to say about that. But if I think that's the move, like if I think that's what the Lakers should do, I mean, I don't agree with, just bringing one star player. I don't think bringing one star player is the answer that the Lakers need. However, I'm not going to doubt LeBron, and I'm not going to doubt the ability that he has to make his teammates better. Granted, maybe his teammates just play horribly in the postseason like they always do. D'Angelo Russell, Kevin Love, who else played bad in the postseason when J.R. Smith, and so many other players that I could name off that just did not perform while, LeBron performed in the postseason, but I digress. So I think, Klay is going to weigh his options between the Orlando Magic, or the Los Angeles Lakers. Those are going to be, his big options. Now, other teams that are interested in him as well are the 76ers and the Clippers. Now, I think the 76ers, now that they have Paul George, they're not going to bother trying to get Klay Thompson because Klay Thompson is going to try to ask for a lot of money. So I think that team is officially off the table because this was a tweet coming in from Woj before. But the Clippers, on the other hand, maybe that could be another destination that he decides to go to. But I digress. Now, with that, we are out of time for this fourth segment. So now we will go ahead and go into the fifth segment where I'm going to recap every single move in the free agency that has happened right now. Everything that has happened from, player signings, player trades that I haven't already covered. I'm going to try to cover all of them in the fifth segment. So be sure to stay tuned so that way you could stay updated with it right after this short break.